Hey guys, welcome to our SoulFam Podcast, where I interview space holders from all over the world. I'm your host. My name is Karolina, and I'm the Power Couple Therapist. Today on the show, we have Nico DiMattina, the meditation and mindset teacher and speaker. Welcome to the show, Nico. How are you doing?
I'm great, Karolina. So great to be here and excited to dive in. We're going to have some juicy wisdom that's everyone's going to benefit from, and hopefully from getting inspired to bring in some of this magic into everyday life. We're going to experience more magic in our world and magnetize our heart's desires more effortlessly.
Amazing. I'm super excited to talk to you, especially that we got a chance to meet in person last week in Australia, and it was so fun. And I'm really happy that we didn't even get to do the podcast before we met in person because now our energies are even more connected. So I'm sure that this conversation is going to be even more flowy and great. So amazing. Let's jump straight into the topic of Vedic meditation, because I know that you're a meditation teacher and you're teaching the Transcending Meditation technique. And I'm super curious about this specific technique because I know that you practice it for a really long time. I'm curious to know how you started practicing it, where this technique comes from, and what has inspired you to choose this specific method for yourself as a practice to do it daily.
Yeah, so great question. So I was working back in 2013 at Google in Silicon Valley. And I remember I had this feeling in my stomach that I just felt unfulfilled. I didn't know why. I was at one of the best companies in the world, supposedly. I was making good money, but something didn't feel right. At the same time, my sister Carla was practicing Vedic meditation, this transcending meditation technique. And she'd been practicing for about 6 months. And I remember her saying to me, she felt super calm, a lot more energy, and a lot of clarity. As soon as she said clarity, alarm bells went off in my head, which was, that's exactly what I need right now. I need some clarity over this feeling of why am I unfulfilled? I had no idea why. So talk about just in the flow and it being around in your field and it coming to me at the perfect time. I didn't have to try hard to go out of my way. My sister was a guardian angel in this case, and she has been for my whole life, right? So I'm just forever grateful for her and her, dedication to like finding the truth and finding really good things that work in terms of, coming to a deeper place within our hearts, into love and aligned with our purpose. So I started to practice this technique every day. And what's amazing about the technique is you use a mantra. Now, a mantra in Sanskrit, man means mind, tra means vehicle or tool. So a mantra it's a sound vibration that helps transcend, or another word for transcend means go beyond the thinking mind. So it starts to imagine just disarming all of the busyness of your mind, all the thoughts. Imagine your mind going completely silent, having no thoughts whatsoever. That's what this technique does. Now, what is this state of transcendence? Where do we go when we're beyond thought? We go into this state of pure being, which is our true self, which is you minus your thoughts, complete stillness, or another word for it is bliss, consciousness. And so it's an unbounded consciousness state. And, if we can even use, it's an awareness state. It's the state of yoga. Yoga is not just about the physical asana, the postures. Yoga is a state of awareness. Yoga is in the present moment, connected to the oneness. This technique takes you straight into that place. And it's all about taking you in effortlessly. So you're not forcing or concentrating too hard. You're effortlessly repeating this mantra in the back of your mind. And then bit by bit, the mind begins to settle down and get a little quieter and quieter. At some point, you'll just drift into this deep, beautiful, blissful state of awareness, which is that state of yoga, that state of oneness. And so I've been practicing now for 11 years, this technique, and teaching it for 6 years. And I'm just so passionate about it because this state of awareness, this state of yoga, it's the state of our natural state of awareness, which is where our love resides. It's where our inner power resides. It's where our intuitive wisdom resides, our creativity, compassion, kindness, all of these amazing traits that we naturally are. The technique takes us into that source. And for me, why I started to meditate was to get clarity over, this feeling. Very quickly, I started getting the answers to my question, which was I had more value to offer humans. I had more of a gift to share, which I didn't know what the gift was at the time. But my gift is my communication skills. My gift is my empathetic nature, so I can connect with humans on a deep level with their emotions. And I've got a gift of like elevating a situation. I'm which I'm grateful, and I started to own my gifts, all of these things, and it led me to life coaching. It led me then, I never thought I'd be a meditation teacher, but it was too good not to share with the rest of the world. So I felt like it was a sense of responsibility that this technique is so easy. Why is not the rest of the world doing it? It's only 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the afternoon. So twice a day practice, ideally. So it's not you don't like have to meditate for hours on end to have this amazing experience. And with consistent practice of the meditation technique, you will establish yourself in this state of awareness permanently with your eyes open outside of the meditation practice. So we say it's not about just meditating with your eyes closed. And for that experience, whatever happens in that experience, great. But we don't really care too much. We're more interested about, Karolina, how's your life? Are you aligned with your heart's desires? Are you aligned with your purpose? Are you feeling calmer? Are you feeling more connected to your emotions? Are you feeling more creative and abundant and in the flow? That's what we're more interested in, and that's why we meditate.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing all that. And that brings me to a lot of questions about this technique, because I think I've tried it before, but not for a consistent period of time, just because I had other techniques that I wanted to utilize first, and like my own techniques that worked for me. And so, for example, first question is, how long does it take for an average person, because you've been teaching it for the last 6 years, so how long until they see the effects that you're talking about? They see more peace of mind, they see more, is it possible that even after a few practices already they will get into the state? Or is it because we have busy minds, generally speaking, and if someone has never meditated before, they might need more and more practice to get to the state without thoughts and to get their mind to quiet down? So on average, if you take the average person from the street, how long does it take to experience the benefits of the meditation? Because I know that probably straight away you can experience some benefits, but how long until you can really get to this peaceful state of mind?
Yeah. So it's going to vary for everyone. We're all different, right? It's like my body type is different to your body type. Your life experiences are different to my life experiences, so it's really going to vary. Now, the benefits, though, can be experienced from the first meditation. I'll share a few examples. Me, when I first did it, I'll never forget when I meditated in this technique for the first time, this deep sense of inner peace. And it happened in that first meditation. I was like, wow, this feels amazing. I've never experienced this before, because I was so busy in my life, in my mind, and quite stressed and overwhelmed how I would live in this sort of frantic state. So I'd never experienced this. I knew inner peace as a concept, but I never knew what it felt like. So this was the first time where I felt the experience. Now, that was my experience. I remember teaching one of my students a few years ago in New York. After his first meditation, he said he slept through the night, the whole night, for the first time in 7 years, right? So it was a game changer. You hear this feedback all the time: improved sleep, improved energy. And this is just from a couple of meditations, one meditation, two meditations. One of the other students in New York, she got home after, I think the meditation course went from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. on a weeknight. She got home at 9 p.m. She said normally she's so tired and like is useless and she just goes straight to bed. That night, she said she had so much energy, she cleaned her house twice over. So you can experience the impact and the benefits straight away. Now, what you're referring to, though, and the question is, how long will it take for you to experiencing that state of awareness permanently? Now, this takes time and practice, where culturing our system, right? We're really refining the system, the nervous system in particular, right? To move into this deep state of relaxation and this state of calm and stability. So it takes time, and it all depends on your environments, right? How stressful are your environments? So are you meditating, but then choosing to stay in these stressful environments because it might be a slower process for you to establish that? Or are you meditating, which is clearing the stress and fatigue out of the system, and choosing more harmonious environments, your work environment, your relationship, home environments, right? So if you're taking action in your life to create more harmony, the state will establish a lot quicker because you're creating that environment that's more conducive for that state to stabilize. So yeah, it's a combination of things, right? It's how you're moving your body and looking after yourself, how you're eating, what are you putting high quality ingredients into your body, including, are you consuming good people's energies as well, in terms of, or are you too accessible and letting in a lot of toxic energy that is depleting your life force energy? So there's many factors that that go into it. And so the last thing I'll say about this is, be patient with the process. Let go of the idea of, when's it going to happen? When am I going to just feel just like so amazing all the time, moment to moment? If you let go of that attachment and just get on with the process of just maintaining the consistency. As one of my favorite quotes by Aristotle is, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, therefore, is not an act, but a habit. So just make this into a habit. Know that with consistency, you're stabilizing yourself in that natural state of awareness, and it'll take however long it takes. Let go of it. Who knows when it will be?
Beautiful. Thanks so much for sharing. And I really resonate with that, because I started my spiritual journey from chakra meditation, but chakra meditation in terms of feeling emotions for specific chakras. So to me, if I repeated feeling safety and joy and power and love and honesty and truth, expression, divinity, and so on, if I repeatedly felt these emotions, then it was way easier for me to jump straight into them in my everyday life. So it's similar, right? Here you kind of reach the state of peace, and you're anchoring peace within yourself. And in the other meditation, you're anchoring all these different feelings within yourself. But the more you're repeating it, the more your brain is wired to feel them. Like the more the neural pathways are kind of like walked through, in a way, if you can say that. And then your default state of mind is like this, what you repeat, right? So I totally resonate with that. And it's great to be consistent with any practice, because only by being consistent, you can really see the benefits and see the long-term effects of what you do. And another question that I have about this, does it matter what mantra you're using? Because I am aware that there are different mantras that bring different energies into our body. So the mantra is kind of like an energy signature, or like an energy stamp that you can like stamp on yourself and embody a specific energy. But it seems to me like with this specific technique, it's not as important what the mantra will be, because it's not about as much about embodying the energy as about just quieting the mind. So does it matter what mantra we are using, or are there different mantras that you're using for different, I don't know, issues or different stages of your life or whatever, or is it always the same?
Yeah, so it's a really, really good question. And for this, there's going to be like different perspectives. And one thing I'd say firstly is I think it's always good to ask a qualified teacher, learn from a teacher who is aware of all the different variety of mantras that you can use. So that's what I would say firstly, rather than just choosing a random one on your own, which I've had friends that have done that. And,
Did it work well for them?
No, it didn't. And that's the lesson, it's like we can be proactive and do it, but a teacher is going to have more specific that can help your specific situation because everyone's different and different mantras for different things. Now, there are a few different styles of mantras. There's like a bija mantra, which is a seed mantra, which is like planting a seed, which is like a short sound. And then it sort of, you drop the seed into your mind, into your being, and then that seed grows and grows and grows. If you ever go to a kirtan, where you're in a group playing music and chanting mantras, they use what we call those japa mantras, invoking those divine frequencies, those energies. And with the transcending meditation technique, we use a bija mantra, which is a seed sound. It's a sound vibration. And the way the vibration, the way the sound works is on the vibration frequency that helps harmonize the mind and into quieter and quieter states of awareness. And so, I'd recommend rather than, we teach this technique and there's many different mantras you can use, bija mantras, but we teach it over 3 or 4 sessions because it's very hard to like perfect this technique after one session. Because many of us, especially if we're type A personalities, we're used to like, go-getter and like achieving and it's like a lot of forcing, pushing energy. Mm-hmm. This technique, we need to rewire all of that and actually be less pushing and more relaxing, effortless. And in that state of effortlessness, combined with the mantra, your mind then will start to detach from thoughts. And thoughts might still be there, but you're not attached onto them like you had maybe prior. So many people I hear say, I tried to meditate once before, I couldn't stop my thoughts, I'm shit at meditation, no more meditation. I hear it all the time. And it's like they clearly have not got a teacher to help support them, because a good teacher would say, thoughts are not your enemy. It's like clouds in the sky. Clouds come. You don't say, oh, it's a bad day because there's clouds. You just say, oh, there's clouds. It's not like it's a negative thing. It's just there's clouds. It's neutral. That's how we approach thoughts. It's neutral. And the good thing about clouds and our thoughts is they're in a constant state of flux. They're moving. They're passing. So don't get caught up in one thought or 2 thoughts. It's okay. We allow and accept everything as it is. It's all perfect. If you're on thinking thoughts, perfect. If you're thinking the mantra, perfect. If you don't have any thoughts and you've forgotten the mantra, perfect. That's exactly how the technique is designed. So you can't go wrong. The only way you can go wrong is if you're trying too hard to force a specific situation. Stop forcing. Let go. Allow and accept everything as it is. And you'll drift into quieter states of awareness. So at some point, you just have no thoughts and you've just dropped into that state of unbounded consciousness, of that pure being. Beautiful, relaxing, blissful, peaceful state.
That's beautiful. And I love about this technique the fact that you are allowing everything as it comes, because if you're not allowing everything as it comes, you're pretty much creating more suffering and more resistance within you towards what's happening anyway. Because like if the thoughts come, they come anyway, and you might resist them and be like, oh no, I'm thinking again. Or you might just allow it and accept it. And then from this acceptance state of mind, because it's closer to enlightenment state of mind, you're going to be way better off just accepting everything as it comes, and then the thoughts are actually going to disperse faster when you do that, rather than when you resist them, because what you resist persists. So if you're going to resist your thoughts, they're going to be there even more, because you're going to be like, oh shit, now I'm thinking again, oh no. And I know that it happened, for example, for my mom as well. Like, I can't stop thinking. I can't, she didn't even know what meditative state might be until I gave her some psychedelic substances, of course. But that's another way to just like shortcut your path to this state of being where you have thoughtless state and you just can experience pure consciousness in its purest form. But yeah, the organic way to do it is meditation. And it's beautiful that by this simple practice, because it's just repeating a word inside of your mind, you can get to these states of consciousness that people get after years of other techniques of meditation or on psychedelics as well. So it is pretty cool that you don't need anything external of you to get to this state, and it's pretty cool. Although I like playing on codes, so I like substances and psychedelics and everything like that. I'm a little shaman, so I love that. But still, like, if you can have something that you can do anywhere at any time, it doesn't matter where you are, doesn't matter if you have space to meditate or if you don't, you can just go there. It's perfect. It's freaking amazing. And are there any recommendations when it comes to like who should practice this method? Like, for example, maybe it's for specific I don't know, ailments or struggles that people have, or can kids do it as well? And can everyone do it? Pretty much this is my question.
Yeah, everyone can do it, both genders and of all ages. If the rule of thumb, if you're teaching a child, is if you're teaching a 8-year-old child, they should meditate for about the same time as their age. So if they're 8 years old, meditate for 8 minutes max. That's plenty. 10 years old, 10 minutes, 15 years old, 15 minutes. And then, after that, we get to 20 minutes is the practice. And then after a year of practicing this technique, then we say ramp it up to 30 minutes. And the reason why we say in the first year only practice for 20 minutes is this technique is so powerful. It goes a layer deeper than most other meditations. This technique goes a layer deeper than a lot of other meditations. And not to say it's better or worse than others, right? There's no like saying that's, that technique is bad, this is better. All meditation, the purpose of meditation is to expand awareness, and it's all doing good. However, every meditation technique is going to have a different intended outcome. This intended outcome is to experience that state of transcendence, right? That state of unbounded consciousness, which is a really deep state. And most of us, it's very foreign to us. Unless you've had a technique to take you into this place, most of us haven't experienced this state. And that's why I'm so passionate about sharing it, because it goes so deep to your source of the truth of who you are, your true nature. And my perspective in life is once we discover that true nature on who you are, what lights you up, what are your gifts, and how best to share them. Once you've discovered those things, then we can get on with just giving the gift. Like you're clear on who you are. You've cleared out the sort of inner child wounds, the programs that had been set in our early formative years on, how we needed to be to survive in our environments. Once we are aware of how we needed to be and then realize, does that program still serve us right now in this new environment that I'm in? Most of the time it's no, it doesn't serve. So what do? With awareness, with our expanded awareness state, we let go of those dysfunctional patterns. And you need awareness for that, right? Awareness is the key ingredient. So our focus is to expand awareness as much as possible. With more expanded awareness, you can bring this awareness to your past, let go of the things you don't like, and then choose. I love this word, choose. You have a choice. And I love those affirmations that you shared before that you say to yourself, because it's so empowering. And it's like, this is who I choose to be right now and moving forward. And that's so empowering. And this technique helps you get to that state of clearing the past, getting clear with who you are now and who you want to be and move in that direction. And the world becomes your oyster. You start to vibrate at a higher level, which means you start to magnetize effortlessly the things that are closest to your heart, whether that's a harmonious, loving relationship, whether that's a fuck yes job, the job that lights your spirit up, that, you get excited to go to work every day because you love what you do, or whether it's you live in this most amazing paradise where prior to meditation or prior to having a limited awareness state, you felt stuck in these problematic environments. Now, with this more empowered state of consciousness, you're not stuck. You just see anything where there's friction as an opportunity to move into more flow. So the friction is actually just a beautiful lesson. And you say, thank you, universe, for this beautiful lesson, for teaching me what is not aligned with me. So then the question is, what is aligned? And what's in here, in the heart, beyond the thinking mind that can get a little bit limited with its perspective. The heart is more expanded into the higher possibilities of our soul's purpose. So we want to listen to the heart, which has got a higher intelligence than the thinking mind from our perspective.
Beautiful. And I love what you shared about you are actually choosing different environments and different things for yourself the more you connect to the essence of who you are, because then you clearly see like what choices you made from your mind and what choices you're actually making from your heart. And as you said, like you might choose different environment when it comes to your friends, or when it comes to the city that you live in, or when it comes to anything else, really, the foods that you're eating and everything, because as you raise your vibration, and I'm guessing that by this technique you're also raising your vibration because you're coming more to who you are and coming to the purity of your being, then everything that misaligned just needs to go, and you need to make changes in your life based on who you really are in your heart. So I absolutely love that. And so what if you do it, let's say once a day, or what if you skip it, or what if you forget about it for like a month? Like, because I know that could be a fear of someone who is like, okay, this guy here, he's been practicing it for like 11 years. I don't know if I can do it for 11 years. I don't even know if I can do it twice a day. So what would you say to someone who maybe is super busy and they're like, okay, I only got 20 minutes a day to do it in the morning, let's say. Like, would it affect, the meditation in a way that, okay, now it's not within the framework, so it's not going to have as many benefits? And obviously, the more you practice something, the more benefits that it has. But also, like, I know that for some people, it's going to be like, oh, I don't know if I can commit to doing it twice a day for a year. So what would you say?
Yeah, so a few things. I'd say life comes down to priorities, right? And what are we prioritizing? So the example I always share is we prioritize brushing our teeth twice a day, right? In the morning and in the evening. We eat food, most of us, every day, often 2 meals or 3 meals a day, sometimes more. We often shower minimum once a day, sometimes twice a day. So there's certain things that we just have already built into our lives that are non-negotiables. One of those things typically for us Westerners is exercise, right? We always prioritize, when I say we always, many people prioritize physical exercise for their health. Not many people prioritize mental fitness as overall health. So the first thing I'd say is we need to like zoom out and actually take a more holistic perspective on well-being, because we've seen athletes who have had horrendous mental health issues, but they were the best athletes, the fittest. And our perspective when we look at that is like, oh, that's the picture of health. Well, no, that is incorrect. That is the picture of an athlete who is athletic and gifted with athletic performance. That is not someone who we should put on a pedestal for overall well-being, including the mindset. And not only the mindset, the vibration. What are they Are they in an expanded, loving vibration where when you're in their presence, you feel expanded, you feel safe, you feel connected? That's what we need to be going at for, we shouldn't put anyone on pedestals, by the way. We need to, connect with the power within, trust the guru within. You're the teacher for yourself. I'm the teacher for myself. The teacher is all around us. So we don't need someone outside of us for that. But it's supportive to see the vibration, to feel the vibration of other people around us, to inspire us to keep practicing. So back to your question earlier, if people don't want to prioritize twice a day, because that's a choice, right? It's a choice. So they're choosing not to do it twice a day. They're saying, I am only going to prioritize once a day. They're still going to experience phenomenal benefit. Absolutely. Just probably not as much as people doing it twice, because you're accumulating stress and fatigue every day just by engaging in work and living in life, right? Life can get stressful. You got to pay your bills, you got to work, all these things. So you're still going to get the benefit from once a day. That's fine. I've noticed that my students, when they miss a day of meditation, they mention to me that they really notice the impact of not doing the meditation. They really notice it. And they prefer when they are meditating, right? On how much sharper they are with their awareness, how much sharper they are with their focus, how much better energy they have, how much calmer they are, emotional stability. So the proof is in the pudding, where they know that they want to do it twice a day. They just need to prioritize it. And often, if we just say, okay, I'm going to do a little bit less Netflix or a little bit less Instagram, right? We waste a lot of time and energy with stuff that is not really changing the game, right? And what I think we need is not more information at this point in time. We actually need to go less information, listen to what's going on in here. And in order to do that, when we close our eyes, we just shut off those distractions of the external world and we go in. So that's what I'd say is, like, what are you prioritizing? And think about, why do you want to meditate? Often it's, you want to have more harmonious relationships, or you want to be aligned with doing something that you love to do, with your work or your vocation, or you want to have the next level energy and vitality. And if that's or magnified, amplified, enlightened sex, lovemaking. And if that's the case, prioritize this twice a day, because it's going to deepen your connection with yourself, expand that love, expand all of that intuitive wisdom. And that's the beautiful thing, that intuition, I think, is one of the most precious things that we can have, because when we're connected to our intuition, when it is, well, let's say, a romantic partner, you are so connected to your partner's needs, and you can just be completely in the flow without the mind getting in the way of, am I doing this right or wrong or whatever? You're just in tune, in the flow. And this is, the intuition being in the flow in a work environment is a game changer. As a leader, with your team, so many things. So for me, I think we need to just all start prioritizing this, because this is, superhuman capabilities, but we almost need to take out the word super. This is just natural human capabilities, but we're not operating from this natural state, unfortunately. So let's get back to our natural state, because it's awesome.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And that makes me feel like I want to try to meditate in this way again, because you're so passionate about it. And I really feel that you are such a beautiful and loving person, and you have such an amazing grounded presence. And I can see that you are embodying what you're teaching. Like, I can really feel it in your energy. And, not every teacher out there is like embodied in what they teach, and I really feel it from you. So thank you so much for practicing it and being who you are and bringing it into our world, because I feel like the world really needs it. So thanks, Nico, for doing this work. It's really, really important. And speaking of that, I would love you to share a few words about your other work, which is the Magnetic Mastermind, and also just to share where people could find you if they would like to know you more, if they would like to see more of your content, and maybe even get some teachings from you. So I would love if you can share with our audience.
Sure. Firstly, Karolina, thank you for the beautiful words. And it's so nice to be seen, and I think, the movie Avatar, they say one of the key lines in the movie when they're relating intimately is, "I see you." It's such a beautiful thing to be seen. And yeah, this is the beautiful thing about learning from an embodied teacher. And what does embodied mean for anyone out there who's, hasn't heard that word? Embodiment is, I'd say, when knowledge is information up in the head, that's knowledge. Embodiment is when that knowledge comes down into embodied wisdom, where you're living and breathing it from a day-to-day basis. It's not a concept in your head. You're actually taking action, and you are it. You are being it, being. So it's a state of being. It's a beautiful state. And this is the importance of learning from an embodied teacher, because that teacher will lift you up quicker to that more embodied state. You have a better perspective on the role model of what's possible. And I'm very grateful and blessed that I've had a phenomenal teacher who still is my teacher to this day. So that's for anyone out there who wanted to go about doing it themselves. It'll just take you probably a bit longer than cutting through all the bullshit. Get to a qualified embodied teacher, and your evolution will be fast-tracked. So that's the first thing. Regarding how to find me, Instagram at Nico DiMattina, Nico DiMattina, DiMattina. DiMattina actually means, in Italian, D means of, Mattina means morning. So I'm Nico of the morning.
Oh,
And
cute.
so I'd like to say, when I wake up, I'm just ready to go. And that's whether I'm partying late at night, early morning, or I love getting up before the sun rises. I think it's such a magical time of the day. And it's great for our circadian rhythm. It's great for our energy. So many good things. So I'm very much a morning person, but I'm also a day person and a night person. And last
Awesome.
thing is about the Magnetic Mastermind. So if anyone wants to learn from me in a mentorship program capacity, I offer this Magnetic Mastermind. So I'll teach you this transcending meditation technique. I'll teach you some yoga and qigong techniques, some pranayama, some breathwork techniques, all of these things that are going to help with your mindset to be more calm amongst the chaos, to be more energized. So your vitality, your vibration is going to be higher. You'll learn gratitude techniques where we can amplify that state of appreciation for yourself, for all of creation. And when we're in that state of appreciation, of gratitude, we then start becoming magnets for better outcomes that the universe sends our way, because we're acknowledging the extraordinary creation that we're existing in. So everything in the universe is all about relationship. So the Magnetic Mastermind is deepening that relationship with yourself, capital S, which is your high self. Once we start amplifying and coming back to our true nature, we then can magnetize things that are closer to our heart's desires. So this is what the Magnetic Mastermind is all about. It's a month-to-month program every 2 weeks on a Zoom call for 90 minutes. It's in a group program, so you get to share, you get to make amazing networks with a global community, which is so awesome. Learning, hearing from people's different stories, and we grow and expand and heal and elevate and raise the vibes all together.
That's so beautiful. Thank you so much, Nico, for sharing all that. I feel really inspired by you, and I'm sure all the listeners feel inspired as well because you're just so passionate. I can feel your heart. So thanks a lot for all the wisdom that you shared today. And I'm just so grateful that we got to do this podcast together and to share with everyone how passionate and how amazing our life can be when we just practice connecting to the essence of who we are, connecting to our heart and to the truth really of the natural state of our being. So thanks a lot, Nico. I'm super grateful for you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on, Karolina. Love your questions, love your enthusiasm and passion as well. And to all your listeners out there, if you want more bliss, if you want more abundance, if you want to live that fuck yes life, next level, come learn from Karolina and myself, and we'll be happy to share and raise the vibes. So thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you so much, beautiful souls, for listening to us. It's been such a pleasure to talk to Nico, such an amazing conversation, and I hope that it has inspired you to start meditating, whether it's this technique or whether it's another technique. Meditation can really work miracles in our life. And if you're a power couple and you'd like to take your relationship to the next level, contact me at karolina.kuraj@gmail.com, or you can find me on Instagram at karolina.kuraj. Karolina with K, and my surname is Kuraj, Polish surname. Sometimes people say Kuraj, and it means courage, apparently in Romanian, so you can remember it like that. So thank you so much again for supporting us with your listening and viewing, and I'm sending you much love and only good vibes.